fellow bookworms, so it's Katie here from the Queen of Teen Fiction and it's time for my August wrap-up. I finally decided to call these videos wrap-ups because since I've started doing them I've been calling them reading picks rather than wrap-ups like everybody else. Mostly because when everybody else does wrap-ups at the end of the month they've read like so many more books than me because I'm a slowpoke with reading. And it must look so disappointing when it comes to doing one of these videos and I've got like 2 or 3 books that I've read, which was why I was calling them reading picks rather than a wrap-up. But I've given in and I've finally decided to call these videos wrap-ups. So this month I have read and adored 2 books, and the first one is Defects by Sarah Knopf. And this is the first book in her new series, The Riverians. Now, as you know, I've told you about Sarah's books before. I've talked about her previous series, the Lucidite series. Her books are about a race of people called dream travelers who have the ability to travel anywhere in time and space in their dreams. And I really adored her first trilogy of books. So I was super excited to read her next book. Now, because it's still based around dream travelers, I kind of thought that it would be similar to the Lucidite series. It is nothing like the Lucidite series. Defects is set in a town called Austin Valley, and that town is completely controlled by their president, President Vida. And he makes out as though it's a safe and welcoming, perfect community, basically, and that dream travellers and middlings live together, and he basically offers them a perfect life. He gives the dream travellers great occupations, and he gives the middlings, which are normal human beings like you and me, the opportunity to live and work within their community as well. And the protagonist in the story is called Em, and she lives in Austin Valley, and she is known as a defect because at a certain age dream travellers normally get a gift to go alongside their dream travelling, and it can be anything from telekinesis to being able to read thoughts. And so as she hits puberty she doesn't get her gift like everybody else, so she is known as a defect. And defects have been becoming more and more common within Austin Valley, and more kids and teenagers are being diagnosed as defects. So every day Em gets an injection that she believes will help bring out her powers. So she is living this perfect life in a seemingly perfect community, but of course, as is the case with these closed off small towns, things are a lot more sinister than they first appear. Em had a best friend called Rogue, who she thought had died a few years previously because he had disappeared from the town and had never been heard from since. So whilst they assume he is dead, Em actually finds out that he's really alive. And him coming back into her life also brings some really deep dark secrets from Austin Valley, and everything starts to unravel for Em as she realises that everything she's really known in her life has been a complete lie. So I really adored this book because it was exciting and sinister from the start. It drew me in straight away because I knew there was definitely a dark undertone to the story, and it comes out more and more throughout each chapter. And as with Sarah's previous series, the characters in this book are fantastic. Em is a really great character because at the start she's just going along day to day living the life that has been shaped out for her, and as she starts to realise what's really going on she grows into such a strong and determined character. She has so much determination to bring justice to the people of Austin Valley who are living their life believing that they're living in this perfect world when actually they're not. So this is a fantastic start to what I predict will be a great series. I can't wait to read the second book. So I've really enjoyed reading that this month and you should definitely check it out. The second book that I have loved this month is The Blackthorn Key by Kevin Sands. This book is out in early September, so this isn't the finished cover. I was super excited to receive this book because I read the blurb a while back and it sounded so exciting. So I built up a lot of hype before actually reading this book and it completely didn't disappoint. So this book follows 14-year-old Christopher Rowe. He's spent most of his life in an orphanage. One day he is taken away from the orphanage by Master Benedict, who is an apothecary, and he takes Christopher to be an apprentice. So Christopher gets to move into his master's shop and learn a lot about medicines. He has a dream of one day opening his own shop, just like his master. So he has a busy but happy life in London. However, several apothecaries have been murdered and no one knows who the culprit is behind these attacks. And naturally, Christopher is afraid for his master's life and his own life. In the story, Christopher finds himself on the run with his best friend Tom, and all he has are a set of clues left to him by his master. And so basically he's at a race against time to figure out what this code is because he believes it's the key to why these murders are happening. This book isn't exclusively YA, it's more of a middle grade book, but it's the type of book that can be read by just about anyone of any age. It's just a classic adventure-y mystery story. And it's also set in the 1600s, which is awesome because I love history and historical novels. It kept me so hooked throughout reading. It's the type of book where you get to the end of the chapter and then you're just like, okay, one more chapter. And then you find yourself at 2 AM having read 5 more chapters than you initially planned. And Christopher's a great character. He's 14 years old and he's been faced with a lot for a 14-year-old and he deals with it brilliantly. I love his friendship with Tom. They have a great typical boyish relationship. They're always getting themselves into a little bit of trouble. The first sentence of chapter 1 is Christopher saying to Tom, "Let's build a cannon." So just from that you can see what kind of trouble they get themselves into. So I really love books like this anyway, so I kind of expected to love this. So anyone that loves the middle grade-ish kind of adventure stories like Percy Jackson and so on would really love this book. Also, this book has a map at the start, and you know any book that has a map in the start is going to be awesome. You know you're in for an exciting adventure when you get a map at the start of the book. You just do. Yeah, so reading this has definitely been a highlight of my month. So yeah, you should definitely check this out when it's published. So thank you guys for watching. Please let me know what books you've been reading this month. And do you like the sound of any of the books I've mentioned? If you do, please let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time. Bye!